All right, mate.
How's it going?
We're back.
BeardWags 6, right? Number 6.
Yes. Yeah, it is number 6.
Recording on St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. May you have a very Irish day.
I hope you don't wake up pissed in a in a phone box with a trucker's penis in your ear.
I thought you were going to say, I hope you don't wake up. And then there was a long pause, so I was thinking, this man wishes a lot of people was dead.
30 seconds in, I thought it's probably not a good idea to wish death upon our listeners.
This hat is really tight on my head.
Yeah, we're wearing St. Patrick's Day hats because fuck it.
Yeah, we're fucking mental.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, actually, so let's do some catching up, talk about how we are.
How you doing?
Touch each other. Fine, yeah. I'm going to take this hat off.
Yeah, I probably will too.
Because it's tightened my brain and it makes me hard.
It makes you hard?
No, what does it make? Makes it hard for me to think. Now, I'm fine, thanks. I've missed you.
I've missed you too.
You can probably tell by the videos I've been doing.
I can. A little bit weird, but...
I made friends with a plastic bag. Oh, he was there, but he's got... I think my girlfriend threw the plastic bag
They can't see what you're pointing at.
No, I was pointing at my desk, which was where the bag was.
Fair enough.
From the video, if you haven't seen it, go to youtube.com and then find it yourself from there.
Yeah, is it just type in BeardWags?
Yeah, it's on our YouTube, and it's a video of me making friends with a bag.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait for you to go away.
What, in general, or on holiday?
Yeah, just go away.
Do you know what? Forever, just go away.
Yeah, get lost.
So, what do we want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, hang on.
I'm fine as well, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, how are you?
I'm good.
I know, what I was going to say was we should do some of our get in touch with us here, do this, that and the other.
All right. Go on then.
Get in touch with us here.
Well, you can find us on YouTube. The exact link is going over my head, but if you type BeardWags into YouTube, you can find us there.
Yeah, BeardWags, all one word. And that's where we post each episode and also funny little videos.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's subjective.
SoundCloud/BeardWags, SoundCloud.com/BeardWags.
Yeah.
Twitter, we're at BeardWags.
BeardWags.
You can see the spelling in the logo. I'm not going to keep spelling it out every episode.
BeardWags made out of beards.
Yep. And then that's it, isn't it? If you want to email us, it's beardwags@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. If you want to email us, and I think we've got a few emails, which has been really cool because they're people we don't know, emailing us just saying that you love the show and that you think we should keep going, which we are, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be recording right now.
Ethan Hayward is who has emailed us and said he's enjoying it and he likes the stories and he's looking forward to us tarting up. He's
looking forward to some tarting up.
Yeah. Doing some streams and whatnot. So
thanks, Ethan.
Yeah, thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Do you remember that character in Lost called Ethan?
Yeah, he was a douche, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. This Ethan's probably really nice.
Who knows?
You better not be the Ethan from Lost.
Yeah, or I'll murder you.
And I think what I wanted to say as well was we like getting emails, and anything you want to email about, even if it's like a question you want us to answer on the podcast.
I would love to answer questions on the podcast.
Me too. It would be like we could talk about like what comics you're reading at the moment, or if people want to know what games they should be playing, what films they should be watching, or even if it's just like an agony aunt kind of thing where you just want to ask us some advice on something.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be quite good.
Just email us anything. You know, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're reading. Send me some comic book suggestions or what you're listening to. I was chatting to someone on Twitter earlier about music, and I love it. I like to know what people are into.
You're big into your Coheed and Cambria.
That's what we were talking about, yeah.
And Donny Osmond, I think.
Donny Osmond.
Shut up, man.
Probably just Coheed and Cambria and Iron Maiden mostly.
Which is your metal.
Sad, isn't it? Because the lead singer's got cancer.
Of Iron Maiden?
Well, yeah, he's recovering. He's undergoing radiotherapy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In his mouth as well, which is where he does all his magic from.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah, I was pretty. I wouldn't say beat up because I don't know him personally, but I've been into them since I was about 12, so it was fairly.
Well, it's pretty selfish of him to get some sort of disorder like that, knowing full well that you're a big fan and that you would be upset.
Yeah, cunt.
Seriously, if you're listening, what's his name?
Bruce Dickinson.
Bruce Dickinson. That's not a rock star name.
Shut up.
It's like, come and see my antique collection of shells. My name is Bruce Dickinson.
Bruce Dickinson's a legend.
Is he the one who flies planes?
Yes, yeah.
That's cool, because they did that 666 tour.
On board Flight 666, yeah, where you could fly with them and see a show. I wish I'd gone.
Here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
My Iron Maiden once toured in Jersey, and my dad worked at the venue, and he jammed with them.
Did he?
He played on the drums whilst they were.
Oh wow! I've met the bassist in a pub in London because his daughter, his name's Steve Harris. He's the founding member.
Your name's Steve.
Yeah.
You guys probably had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Earl.
No, his daughter was playing a gig there, and I was in London. I went along, and he was there, so that was cool.
Oh, that's wicked. I haven't met any famous people. I did see Damian Lewis at the airport.
Did you?
Yeah, and he obviously the dude from Homeland. And he, like, you know how if you see celebrities, this was about 9 o'clock at night, we were picking up my girlfriend's mum she'd been in Russia. And you know if you see celebrities in public, you'd think usually they like to go a bit incognito, disguise a bit, or just not want to draw attention to themselves. Damian Lewis he's a redhead already, which, there's not that many, so they tend to stick out.
Sure.
And he was wearing this full white flannel suit.
What?
And like a V-neck T-shirt underneath it. And it's like as soon as everyone came out the gate, he was the first person that you saw.
He also had a big sign saying, "I'm on telly."
Yeah.
Come talk to me.
And he had his cock out as well, which was...
beautiful.
But I didn't say hi to him. I tried to take a picture, and I don't know if I just moved my phone when it was taking and it got crashed or something, but all I ended up getting a picture of was the floor that he was standing on.
I've met a few people. I met the lead singer of Coheed and Cambria and the guitarist, because one night I went to see 4 of their shows back to back. They did a thing called Never Ender where they played all 4 of their albums that were out at the time back to back. And the second night, they did over 4 nights, but the second night got cancelled and it had to be moved to night 5, and they came out and spoke to people. And also he did a signing one of those days. I've got there's a vinyl figure called Kill Audio. It's a comic book. It's good fun.
Oh, okay.
That's signed. So I met him. Who else I met? Do you know the comedian, kind of shaggy hair, Sean Walsh?
Yes.
He was in
the
Brighton.
one who looks like a lion.
Yeah, he was in... he's not a lion, he's a wanker.
Is he? He does seem like a bit of a
He
wanker.
was in Brighton, and he'd been on Mock the Week like a couple of nights before, and my then girlfriend spotted him, and I went over... Like, he wasn't doing anything busy. It wasn't like I was interrupting. I just said, I thought it was really funny. So I was like, I just wanted to say I thought you were really funny. And he just grunted at me. And I was like, all right, mate. And he just stared at me.
What a dick.
Yeah.
He's not famous enough to be an asshole.
No, definitely not.
No one should be an asshole. But, if you, for example, if you saw, I don't know, Danny DeVito, I'm sure he'd be like...
Why is Danny DeVito your go-to example of a celebrity?
Honestly, it's a problem I have. I think about him at least once a day. I don't know why.
Look, I understand if people are busy. Like, one time in Brighton, I bumped into the guy that played the Weasley dad, in the Harry Potter films, and in the Fast show.
The Weasley dad.
I've forgotten his name. That's so bad. He was in the Fast show as well.
Arthur Weasley.
And he was with his kids. And I was like... I just said hello to him and shook his hand, and I didn't stop him because he had his kids with him, and I just said to him, I just want to say I used to love the Fast Show when I was a kid, and I shook his hand and said thank you.
And I bet that made his day.
I hope so.
And seriously, that sounded like I was being really sarcastic, but there are celebrities who are like, do you know what? I really like that people are inspired by what I do. And I think Damian Lewis actually maybe wanted people to see him. Because, it's at Gatwick at the arrivals.
Yeah.
And you go through and there's elevators to take you up to the next floor where you can go to get your car get your car and stuff. And everyone was sort of crowded round an elevator. He was at a different one, pressed a button, his arrived first. And he was like, hey guys, over here, there's the elevators here. So he
hey guys, it's me, Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis from that program.
This elevator right here is good to go, guys. By the way, it's Damian Lewis.
What's his name? Not Adrian Brody. That's someone else. It's an actor. His name is Brody something on Homeland.
Don't know.
I watched the first season.
I forget.
I watched
yeah,
a bit when Claire Danes was like wiping her fanny with the tissue.
I've only watched
was
bits and
weird.
pieces of it, but it does have one of my favourite people in it, which is I've forgotten his name again. I'm so bad
The
with
black
names.
dude.
No, not the black dude.
The older guy.
Yeah, the older guy
Oh,
from
yeah.
Criminal Minds. He plays Gideon in Criminal Minds.
Gideon's a cool name.
What the fuck is his name?
Google it quick.
I'm looking
I'll stall
right
them.
now. I also saw Matt Berry one time in London.
I'd love
and
to
it was
see
my
him.
girlfriend's birthday, and he looked like he was so busy. He looked really flustered and rushing, so I didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had now because it was her birthday, and she was like, "Should we go talk to him?" I was like, "He does like he had loads of stuff in his hand. He was reading and walking really fast, and I was like, he might get pissed off, and I don't want to interrupt someone's busy day."
He'd have been like, "I'm really busy."
Yeah,
My girlfriend is absolutely moist for him.
Mandy Patinkin, that's his name.
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, who
That's a
played
cool
Gideon
name.
in Criminal Minds. He was also in The Princess Bride and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
He's
a brilliant actor.
I have a man crush on him.
Do you?
I definitely would. If you're listening, email us, please.
Yeah. Email us if you have a man crush. Email us to let us know who that man crush is.
Who's your
Unless
man
it's
crush?
anyone else apart from me and Steve.
Yeah. No, who's your man crush?
Me.
Yeah. A couple of people off the top of your head.
It used to be Ewan McGregor
Oh, yeah.
because I thought he was cool. I still do think he's cool. Now I would have to say probably Michael Fassbender.
Good choice.
Who else is good? Chris Pratt.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's not just because he's like classically good looking, but I mean, I think as an actor as well, it's pretty inspiring how well he's done for himself.
I was just saying fancy, not like what they do as an actor.
Just
I could
like
reel off
how much I want their dick.
Yeah, basically, like because mine is like Mandy Patinkin, David Duchovny, and probably I can't remember any names today.
Well, that's
The
okay.
guy off of Drive.
Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling.
That's it. When my girlfriend always likes to tell this story to people, we were watching that Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh yeah.
You know, the one with Steve Carell where like he's teaching him how to date again and stuff. And there's a bit where Ryan Gosling takes off his t-shirt, and I was just like, "Whoa!"
What, out loud?
Yeah.
In the cinema.
No, we were at home watching.
Oh
that
right.
thing. I was like, "Whoa!" And she was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I was just appreciating a fine specimen of male."
Well, you were like, pour me a glass of 6-pack.
Yeah.
And like fanning your face with
Yeah,
it.
I was looking at it going, I could fucking wash my clothes on that thing.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Now you know.
I think I think that a lot of men have this very defensive, I don't have a man crush, and it's almost like a homophobic jerk reaction to
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
appreciating. I mean, a woman can be like, oh yeah, she's a very beautiful woman. I think
that's what it is. It's just appreciating, and also a lot of it comes down to like, you know, they've been in my favorite things and they're talented. So it's not like I'm going to go gay for these people. I just appreciate them as human beings.
Well, that's good. Go gay. Like as if you could magically turn gay.
Yeah, some people seem to think that, don't they? Mostly religious people. Like,
We talked or was it this morning actually about that religious camp you went to?
Yeah. No, I did. It wasn't a camp. It was an alpha course. I'm surprised you've never seen a poster from there. All around.
What in around Worthing?
Just everywhere. Alpha course is a
alpha
big
course.
thing. It's where you go to learn about Christianity. I'm pretty sure it's just mostly Christianity, but my ex-girlfriend really wanted me to go.
Yeah.
And I went. And you know what? Once a week on a Thursday, I got a nice cooked dinner, and it was always good with a pudding and custard.
And custard.
That's what I took away from it mostly, because they didn't really like me. I ask a lot of questions. I'm very keen to learn, and I don't think you can say you don't believe in something unless you know a lot about it. You have to have studied it.
Yeah.
And I asked a lot of questions, and I remember the last time I went, I really wish I could remember what they were talking about, but I kind of said that doesn't seem right to me.
Well, the way you told this morning, you just shouted bollocks.
No, they were telling something, and I put my hand up and I was like, I'm sorry, but that just sounds like a bit of a cop-out. It was one of those kind of things where they're like, God works in mysterious ways. And I just turned around and went, sorry, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, dead serious. And everyone looked at me like I'd just, like, kicked the baby in the face, you know. And
Well,
at the end of it, they were like, "Well, you maybe shouldn't have said that." And I was like, "Well, sorry,
well,
but
do you know what? Why not? Because the whole purpose, I think, of these alpha courses, I imagine, would be to allow people to be convinced of Christianity. But it does seem a bit like it's just an attempt at brainwashing.
well, they're meant to have an answer for everything. It's meant to be about non-believers or people who are interested in it but don't know enough. And I would put myself very firmly in the camp of non-believer to ask questions.
Yeah.
My problem with it was that the questions, their answers were always so evasive and so, just it was all a cop out. So when I called them out on it and said, "Well, sorry, that's a cop out," they didn't like it. And
It's like what's the name of the chappie who was told to kill his son? Abraham. When you could say like, why did God ask Abraham to kill his son? And they'd be like, well, why do you brush your teeth every morning? It's always, I find, a defensive stance.
Yeah, and the whole God
one.
loves us bullshit is almost irrelevant to me because the Old Testament exists and he definitely doesn't fucking love us, like, if he exists at all.
The Old Testament is made up entirely of God going, "You can't."
Yeah, basically, look, and I don't mean to offend anyone. Well, actually, I do, because God's a bit of a cunt.
Do you know what? If Christians are allowed to believe what they believe, which they are, we're allowed to have a go.
Yeah, and I've always stood on the way of, look, I do take the piss out of religion, and there are a few people who don't like it, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but if your belief is steadfast and rock steady, right, then nothing I say is going to make a difference. So why do you care if I take the piss?
But I think a belief should be always open to being flipped around. So I currently don't believe in God. But then if something happened to change that tomorrow, like hard evidence, I'd be like, oh, I guess there is. Whereas I think a lot of religious people will ignore the evidence given.
Well, the problem is that any hard evidence would almost make the point of belief redundant.
Yeah, I mean, any evidence at all gets rid of faith altogether.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it, it's without going into too much depth, it's on the same par as our discussion about ghosts, and something that comes up quite a bit is that I'm a firm disbeliever in that, because there are all these stories and all these apparent videos that exist, and we still have absolutely not a single shred of tangible evidence for it, and scientists have observed so many things that I think they would have observed ghosts by now.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, Casper's dad observed ghosts. You know, when the three uncles were eating the food.
Yeah, and it fell out their bottoms.
It fell out of their butts. So I don't know how much you could call that evidence.
Casper is a documentary.
It is, yeah. Casper the friendly
documentary about ghosts.
Yeah.
That was a good documentary. I used to like that one.
I mean, what's really good is that the reconstructions were very real.
The documentary
I felt
thing,
like Casper was really there.
I remember my family were having a big discussion about ghosts. We were all gathered at my aunt's, and it was basically everyone against me, because they all are firm believers
in ghosts.
Yeah. No, but ghosts, and they were all sort of saying, "Oh yeah, well, how do you explain this?" And then telling me like the most absurdly mental stories. And my answer, they were all saying I was closed-minded, but my answer was just like, open your mind up to the possibility that there are a million different things that this could be instead of a ghost.
Yeah.
And then one of them walked into the room and went, "Steve, I never would have thought this of you. When you were growing up, you loved the X-Files." And I was like, yeah, I still do, but do you know what? The X-Files isn't a documentary.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Although
I
remember...
would have thought you believed in ghosts, Steve, because growing up, didn't you love My Little Pony?
Yeah.
I did love My Little Pony,
you really?
By the way. Yeah.
What, when you were like, that's proper hipster, like before this whole brony thing came in?
It was before that, yeah.
I can't stand the brony thing.
When I was a little kid, I had them. And this was before My Little Pony was like a hipster thing, like you say.
Like a cult
and
thing.
I remember once we went to a car boot sale, my mum made me sell them all. She's like, "You're getting older now and you need to have boys' toys." And I sat underneath the desk and cried.
I hate that, the boys' toys. Like how Lego, I think they're cottoned onto it now, but they used to have all their girls' toys was pink. And it's like, oh, you're a girl, so you want to buy and build a woman in a house washing the dishes for her nice husband.
Yeah.
And I think now they're sort of getting rid of that.
Do you remember the Lego set where the woman didn't do the dishes and she had a black eye? That was my favourite.
That was
domestic abuse.
That was one they pulled from the shelves.
Yeah, the domestic abuse dream house.
It was just like like each set was a different situation in which she had to call the women's refuge. Oh, that's awful. Right to Lego. We've got an idea.
Yeah, dear Lego. It's like that episode of South Park where there's like that advert for Alabama Man. Have you seen that? It's like his bowling ball action. He's like, use his bowling ball action to bust her lip open.
Oh my god!
Don't you backchat me, bitch.
I find it funny when people make fun of things and other people assume
they're being serious.
That's what they believe. Like, I think a lot of people have a go at South Park because of the things it makes fun of. And like Mormons, for example. And they're like, do you know what? It's the same with the Book of Mormon. I think you told me this. That they're like, we love Mormons. And actually, the Book of Mormon is our love letter to Mormons.
The guy that it was involved in Avenue Q, as well as the guys from South Park, said that it is an atheist's love letter to Mormons.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't paint the Mormons as bad people at all.
No.
It just paints them as quite naive people.
And it's two individuals who are really struggling with their faith, turning that into a funny situation.
Well, in South Park, Mormons are the only ones that go to heaven. Like, all the other religions go to hell.
Really?
Like, there's an episode where one of them shows up in heaven. It's like only the Mormons got there because they were the right religion.
Because they're the only ones that be nice
yeah.
to people.
They are. I'll give them their dues. They are very nice people. I mean, they believe a load of shit, but they are very nice people.
Well, I've got a copy of the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, Ali gave it to you, didn't she?
Very kindly. She came round.
You read it yet? You made much headway?
Do you know, I've read so much recently.
Yeah, sure.
I don't ever read. I get too distracted by my dick and stuff.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, so I think we've gone off on a 20-minute tangent.
Yeah, and that
I
all
still
came
need to
from...
ask you about your time away. Let me just say, you need to fucking stop putting your little death action figure out. I have to feed
I didn't put him out, I hid him.
You hid him in the fucking cat food box. So when I opened it, I had this Grim Reaper pointing at me like, you. And
I think that was the best one yet.
And I went in, it was dark and I was on my own, and I opened it and there was just this skeletal hand pointing at me.
That was my favourite one I've done, I think. I quite like that one.
And so I fed Steve's cat, and you don't want to know what else I did to your cat in retaliation for the death thing.
He has been walking a bit like a crab.
What, sideways?
Yeah. My time away was good. It was really good. It was my mum's 50th. She had a good time. It was. I mean, the house was packed because obviously lots of family there.
Was it like the Burrow?
A bit like the Burrow, yeah. Yeah. No, it was good fun. I had a good time. And obviously, we're going to do a sort of a dedicated episode where I talk about Magic the Gathering. Yeah. And I'll give you more insight into the Grand Prix. But let me just say that it didn't go well.
So put it into 5 words.
It was a fucking disaster.
Well, you had fun, I think.
I had so much fun. I mean, it would have been nicer to win stuff, but I mean, as I'll explain more in the episode, sealed is not a format that I'm very good with because there's not really many chances to practice other than pre-release.
Well, I think what would be cool is if in the dedicated episode, which will be next week, by the way, listeners. That made me sound like a dick.
No, it didn't.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, pretty
sure.
I love you. Thank you.
You should explain a bit more about the specific different ways of playing.
Yeah,
because I only play sometimes with you for fun. You play competitively. Some of our listeners probably won't play it and think, hey, maybe I'll get into Magic the Gathering. I just need to know more about it.
Yeah, I'll explain it. I think I've got in all honesty, I've just chatting to the guy I went with. We're going to put together a playtest group of people who want to do well at the next one.
Oh, cool! That's a good idea.
For people who play Magic will know what I mean, but I've got a better shot at the next one because it's standard, and standard is my format. It's my favourite format. It's the one I like building decks for. So, and if anyone's local down south and you're listening and you want to join in playtesting, drop us an email or you've probably already got me on Facebook because you might be a friend, but hit me up.
BeardWags@gmail.com.
Yeah, or Twitter or Facebook, and I'd be happy to. We're going to make arrangements soon, so everyone's welcome. And also, if you aren't from South but you like Magic, tweet me or email me. I will always reply, but I love chatting about Magic, so do it.
You know your shit as well, and I think, like, again, if people have questions, just
for a new player, I would say I've learned
you've
played
quickly. For about a year, haven't you?
Just under a year,
Just under a year.
I'm still not too au fait on the Eternal formats, but standard and the current stuff, then yeah.
I mean, for a player who's been playing just under a year, your first Grand Prix probably wasn't going to go any better.
No,
Let's talk about that in detail.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But other than that, no, it was a great week. We had some drinks, we had some laughs, saw a couple of movies. It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've taken up climbing since we last spoke.
Awesome.
I think actually I was doing it in our last podcast, but I didn't mention it because I'm still not very good.
I think so, yeah. I want to go climbing.
You should come. It's at a local centre and they have 10-metre high walls.
Where is it?
Shoreham.
Oh, okay.
At the AOAC, Ada Outdoor Activity Centre.
I'll come and give it a try.
Yeah, it's great. All the people there are awesome. I went on an introductory course with 2 other people who are very nice, and we now climb together. Like, there's 3 of us. 2 of us go more regularly than the other one.
That sounds good.
Because they have other commitments. But I'm actually, since I started, it's all about like the wrist and hand strength. And since I started, I'm actually able to understand technique now rather than just my I guess my concern isn't just climbing to the top, it's going on certain routes, for example, like each different block is coloured, so you can be like, I'm going to do the blue route. Some of them are really tough. The guy I go with is really good, so he's new as well, but he just picks it up quicker.
I used to climb.
It's so much fun.
We had a climbing wall at my high school.
No
so
way.
I used to climb there. Yeah.
A high wall high school.
High wall high school. We had a cool gym at my high school, actually. I used to be super fit. And
really?
When I moved down here, it just kind of ran away with me.
It's the same, really. Like, I was not really super fit, but I used to play squash and be more worried about the way I looked and felt. I think for me now, it's about fitness in terms of feeling. I know I've got a bit of a beer belly, and I don't really think that I want to be the kind of guy who's like, yeah, I've been working out for 6 months straight. Look out.
Oh no, it was. I mean, the thing with when I was at school was it was never even about the looks, because as I've told you in private and now in broadcast, I didn't develop an interest in girls until I was about 17, 18 anyway. Yeah. So it was when I moved down here that I had a couple of girlfriends in Wales, but nothing serious. But down here, it's kind of where I've become more interested in how I look, I guess, on an attractiveness thing, trying to get with girls. But I'm never going to be one of those people that's like, I pump iron, look at me. I just want to lose a bit of weight so I don't look like I'm spilling lard out of my stomach.
Well, I think you have lost a bit of weight.
Thank you.
I was talking about exercising with going running. I don't like going running because I find it boring. Yeah. Like unless you got the right music. Oh my God, my voice.
Apologies.
Me. Oh, sorry about that. Unless you got the right music and you're in exactly the right mood, it's really hard to get into running. My dad does it a lot.
Never could get on with it.
I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in London, who was running in a place called Peckham.
Yep.
And he was saying he'd been running for 15 minutes non-stop, which is, I think he's a smoker, so for him it was pretty good. He got to a zebra crossing, and this is from the story he told me. He got to the zebra crossing and went to go, but there was a van which had slowed down, which he thought was to let him go, but instead it kept going.
Yeah.
So he kind of out loud went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And this van's window must have been open, but he thought the van sort of sped off. He thought nothing of it, my mate. So he kept running. Next thing he knows, round the other side, round the other road. Sorry, the van sped up, went onto the pavement, blocking his path. And this guy got out of the van and started pushing him, like, "What the fuck did you say to me? What the fuck did you call me?" Pushing him and backwards and stuff. And Ben, who'd been running for 15 minutes, he was like, "Well, I didn't call you anything. I don't know you. I was just annoyed at the situation.
Yeah.
I almost got run over." And the guy was like, "What the fuck?" And pushing him up against the wall. Then apparently his mate in the van was like, "Let him go," like some sort of strange reluctant
in my head,
hero.
that's still, "Let him go.
Let him go." Like some kind of weird Chav Moses.
Yeah.
And so this guy sort of pushed him a bit more and then made a little space for him to pass. So he started to run off. And then Ben goes, "And the worst part is, when I was running off, he kicked me in the bottom." And he just he kicked his bum. As he was running off, he kicked his body, just "Get out of here."
What a douchebag.
That's the most humiliating
Why would the
thing.
van circle back though? He was obviously just saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm frustrated."
Apparently he looked like a big old skinhead druggy guy.
He was probably some sort of cunt.
Yeah.
If you
definitely
ever
some sort of cunt.
Absolute prick. There's just no need for that.
No. But it made me laugh.
Yeah,
I'm glad my mate's okay, but it's funny that, that proves that exercise is bad for you and you shouldn't do it ever.
I am never going to exercise again. In fact, let's go get donuts.
Let's do it. And this has been BeardWags. We will see you on our deathbeds. So that's it really. I just wanted to talk about exercise for a bit.
That's good. I like it.
We should. I mean, that pretty much wraps up the introduction.
Yeah, that was a
Half
good
an
one.
hour in.
Yeah.
Do
some stuff.
Let's do some stuff. So, I would like to talk about Chappie, but I think that because you haven't seen it yet, maybe we could save that for another episode.
I will be seeing it this weekend.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Yeah.
Because I really have a lot to say about it, and I don't want to. I'd like you to go and see it without having me have me speak about it.
That's fine. I'll go watch it and then we'll talk about it. That makes sense.
One thing I've been raving about is a new Netflix series called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
Have you heard? You must have heard.
I've heard of it, but I've not yet watched it. It's on my list.
It's maybe up there in the top 5 sitcoms I've seen.
It's a bold claim.
It is a bold claim. It's created by Tina Fey.
Yep.
Who is, I mean, obviously goes without saying, she's a very good writer.
Yes.
And it is essentially a traditional sitcom setup with a very unique twist.
Yeah.
It stars, I can't remember her name, she plays Erin in The American Office. She's
I know
a fantastic
who you
actor.
mean, yeah.
And it has also got, I mean, did you watch 30 Rock?
No, not yet. That's on my list as well.
It's got one of the actors from that in, and it does have Tina Fey guest starring a bit. But essentially it's the story of a girl who was sort of forced to join a cult.
She escapes, right?
Well, she was forced to join a cult back in 98 and was sent down to an underground bunker by this mad priest.
Sweet.
This mad preacher, and was convinced that the world was going to end, that doomsday would be on in 2006. So she's there from 1998 till 2006.
Wow.
And it was her and 3 other women. And essentially 2006 came and went, and the guy was like, yep, it's been and gone. The world's ended, so we're safe down here. And she was there until 2015.
And now she's...
And she is rescued by like a SWAT team have found them, and it opens with the news breaking that they found these people underground.
Oh, wow.
So what it does, it puts her into the traditional sitcom scenario of a broke girl living in a crappy apartment in New York, but with this really rich background story of someone who hasn't seen the world since she was a 16-year-old in
so she's experiencing
the 90s.
It. Yeah.
So she doesn't like it. Just a kind of a lot of the emphasis is on how quickly the world has progressed in the space of I guess 15 years, something like that.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm interested. That sounds cool.
And you'd really like it. I think it's the same sort of comedy as 30 Rock, that sort of thing. Tina Fey's traditional, clever, witty comedy.
Yeah.
No joke is an easy joke.
I
which
will
I really
watch
like.
it, and I'll let you know what I think.
Thank you. You should.
Can I tell you about something I really like?
Yes, but can I just say one more thing on Kimmy Schmidt?
Go on.
It's a traditional sitcom setup. It's got all the right the proper recipe for a sitcom. But what I'd relate it to is, say you're making a sponge cake, and it's like, right, here's the recipe. I'll make that sponge cake, and that's the sitcom. But what she does, she's like, right, here's the recipe for the sponge cake. I'm going to make it better by adding some chocolate or whatever.
Is it like when Rachel puts beef
in the... Oh, Rachel. And Joey's like, I love your beef curtains, Rachel. No, he doesn't say that. But it is very much like just an enhanced sitcom. So it's got all the right ingredients for the sitcom, and each character is deeper than you think they're going to be. Each situation is more intense than you think it's going to be, in terms of it's not just I've lost my sock and that's what the episode's going to be about.
I love sitcoms, so it sounds interesting.
It doesn't try not to be a sitcom. It just enhances the genre of sitcom and makes it really good. You're going to love it.
I look forward to it. It's on my list. So
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I look forward to it.
What were you going to tell me about?
I read a book.
I've heard of those.
And I wouldn't say it changed book reading for me. I've read a lot of books, as I'm sure you're aware. You've seen
who I am.
You've seen my bookshelf. You're aware of how much I read.
I've seen your apartment. You have a lot of everything.
Yeah. But I read this book called Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel.
Station 11.
Station 11. And the premise is that I think it's Russian flu outbreak causes the apocalypse.
Cool.
And most of the world's population is wiped out. What makes it interesting is the way that it jumps around in time, and how there's different characters in different parts of the time.
So it's not like linear.
No. It I suppose if you laid it out, you could consider it linear, but it jumps about and all the characters link together.
Sure.
And essentially, it's in the future when there's nothing left of civilization. It tells the story of this girl who's traveling around with a symphony, and they're putting on performances of Shakespeare in different towns. What's left of towns?
Okay. Oh,
And
wow.
they come across this town that's been taken over by a prophet who is basically taking wives for his own, and he's
like
saying,
a self-acclaimed prophet.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
He's
And
like, God sent me.
he's saying like that the apocalypse was brought upon us, and it's our fault, and that, and the story, without giving anything away, you discover who the prophet is and how it all links, and it's like at the end,
okay.
it's all like I get it now. And Station 11 refers to a comic book that someone wrote in the book. It's called Station 11, the comic book.
Oh, a little bit like Utopia.
Yeah, and that sort of similar to Utopia, better than Utopia though.
Really?
Yeah, I would say so. There wasn't a point. I love Utopia, but I'm not really selling Station 11 too well here. But if you like post-apocalyptic, it's not too heavy. It's easy to read, but it's really quite clever. And it took me. I read it in 2 days.
I think when a lot of people, when it comes to literature in apocalyptic situations, people will immediately think Cormac McCarthy, stream of consciousness, heavy writing, emotionally heavy and textually heavy, but actually what you've described this as is a very accessible.
Yeah, it's
I guess character study of this.
It's funny because it took some inspiration from a book by Justin Cronin called The Passage.
The Anal Passage.
Thank you for that.
I think I've said anal in every episode.
I think you have. No, there's references to Justin Cronin, and she actually said in her acknowledgements, I think, that she was inspired by Justin Cronin. And what I find funny is that I read Justin Cronin's The Passage.
Yeah.
That's a post-apocalyptic book, but it is shockingly hard to read. It does the whole time jump thing, but it's so convoluted and so slow that it took me about 3 months to read it. And I had to keep going back to it, and it amazes me that such a brilliant, clever, well-paced book is inspired by such a slow, clunky, poorly executed book. But then maybe that's just because that author, she saw something in The Passage that maybe I missed.
Yeah. Well, I think, like, to an extent, authors are like, well, I wanted to make this clunky and hard to read because it gives the feeling of weight and exhaustion that you'd get in a post-apocalyptic world, but to an extent that's bollocks because you do want something to be readable.
Well, I don't mind heavy. I mean, Stephen King's The Stand is heavy.
It is, yeah, but it's still very readable. Like every page is readable. That's what I mean.
I'm happy to read a big, chunky book that's slow-paced so long as it keeps me interested. The Passage doesn't, but seriously, check out Station 11.
Station 11 by
Emily St. John Mandel.
Emily St. John Mandel.
And do it, and then email me and let me know what you think of it, because I thought it was stunningly fantastic, and I'm gutted that I actually missed I joined a book club and I missed the meeting about this book.
Oh, really? What, in locally?
Yeah. I thought it was the day after, so I emailed them and said, I can't make it today. And they were like, yeah, I can't make it tomorrow. And they were like, well, that's funny because it was today and it's already happened. And I was like...
That's a dickhead way to say it. Well, that's funny because fuck you!
No, they were joking. Like, the person who replied was joking. But I was a bit like, oh, no. But yeah, read it. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I will... I'll check it out. To be honest, I probably won't read it. I will at some point. I'm just a very slow reader.
Yeah, I know. I lent you some books about 1 million years ago.
To take one back. You took one back. Ready Player One by something.
I'm so not good with names
today.
No, me neither. Clive... is it Clive Anderson? I'm pretty sure it's Clive Anderson.
Let us have a look. Bear with us, please.
If you haven't read Ready Player One and you don't have Loot Crate, you've got one in there, and it's so cool. I tell you what, how's this for a deal?
Okay.
If you want to read Ready Player One, if it interests you, it's kind of a bit Matrixy, a bit sort of post-apocalyptic. It's a blend of everything. Email us.
Ernest Klein.
Ernest Klein, sorry, yeah. Where did I get Clive Anderson from?
Clive Anderson, actually, it seems like...
is a writer?
It seems like a legit name. I'll Google Clive Anderson. It's probably just an accountant from
But listen, Ready Player One, great book. If you like The Matrix, if you like video games, again, it's one that I read that one in a day. I sat and read it in a day. If you want a copy,
Clive Anderson's that radio presenter who does like, do you remember?
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a copy of Ready Player One, email us. I will send you a copy.
Yeah.
Gratis, because I've got 3 of them.
First come, first serve. Oh, our first prize giveaway.
Yeah.
Actually, should we give them a question to answer? No one's going to answer it. Let's be honest.
No. If you,
I'll
tell
just
you
get
what,
my mum to
I've got a
email.
quiz question. Do you want it?
Yeah. Do you
What's
want
the
it?
answer to that? And I'll tell you what, I'll throw in a couple of other things and we'll post it out to them, shall we?
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Little BeardWags giveaway.
Oh, that's fun. We can do more of these if it works.
Yeah, I like it.
So prove it.
Tell me some other things.
I've got my list here of things I'd like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's very messy because, as you know, these things aren't scripted. I think it was after we'd last recorded that we played some Zombicide.
Yes.
And I'd never played it before, but it's cracking.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's really good. And I guess it's worth talking about that. Zombicide is a board game, which is a cooperative board game. So you're not playing against each other as players. You're playing against, I guess, a sort of dungeon master.
Yeah, it's scenario-based.
Scenario-based, yeah. So your dungeon master, I guess, is the scenario that you're trying to beat, which is currently constantly throwing out obstacles for you.
Keen dungeon masters and role players will make their own stories, definitely, and they'll have continuing character arcs and stuff like that.
Well, the way I'd describe it, I mean, in terms of relatable board games, or even just tabletop games, is Cluedo meets Dungeons and Dragons. Because to an extent, I mean, Cluedo, there's nothing, you don't have to like guess who stuck a lead pipe up the
You mean
chief's
the layout
bum.
of the board is similar to
the layout of the
Cluedo.
board, and you go into rooms, and it is about the different rooms and what you find in those rooms. But the other side of it is D&D based, where
It's got role play elements. You level up and stuff like that. I would
have
say
a character sheet, for example.
check it out. What we'll probably do at some point is make a YouTube video of us playing it.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. And also, I would recommend, if you've got a local gaming store like A&B Games in Worthing, just a little plug there.
Again with this.
Why not?
Listen, they just want you. Steve just wants you to give him free stuff.
Yeah, basically. Look, go to your local gaming store, and most of them will have like a board game night or someone there who has it. Ask them to play it and see what you think, because to buy it outright without having played it, it can be quite expensive.
Like 70 quid or something, isn't it?
The RRP is about 70 on the base game.
Oh, wow.
But, you could probably get it cheaper, but also you might have people who already have it and you can play it with them, and you might only end up wanting to buy your own character.
There's a base game and then like a bunch of different expansions.
So you've got Zombicide, you've got Toxic City Mall, which works with the base game, and it also works with Prison Outbreak. And then you've got loads of extra scenarios, like there's a book with all the scenarios in it. You've got loads of extra zombies. And also there's a third game coming out, which is called Rue Morgue, I think.
Rue Morgue.
Yeah. As
Rue
in
Morgue.
Rue Morgue. Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Rue Morgue.
RUE Morgue.
Oh,
Rue
right. Oh, okay.
Morgue.
Somehow I forgot to speak English just then.
I think that one might be slightly competitive. I think you have to take teams of survivors yourself and complete objectives.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm not too sure. But yeah, I mean, check out Zombicide. Should we play that on Monday evening?
Yeah.
For my birthday.
It's your birthday and we'll play Zombicide.
Sounds good.
Naked. Everything we do ends up being naked.
Mostly.
Yeah, Zombicide, we'll do that on your birthday. I wonder if... Let's do a little hello video on your birthday.
Okay.
And we can talk about what you got for your birthday and how much fun you've had.
That sounds
good.
good.
Pop that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And
see
how that
good.
goes. I've got something for you.
Go on.
It's a new thing, which I thought I was going to do. I remember a few episodes ago we did Steve's Second Chances.
Heyo.
Heyo. Where we talk about what films you don't like and that I do like, that I then try and convince you to rewatch.
I haven't watched Signs yet. When are we going to sit and watch that? Let's sort that out soon.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sometime next week.
That was too sexual the way I said that.
Yeah, that was. Sometime next week we'll watch it.
Yeah, I'd happily watch it again. I watched it a few weeks... No, it must have been about a month ago now.
Yeah, because you did the thing after.
We'll watch it with what we should do is listen to that bit of the podcast where we talked about it straight after watching. We'll watch Signs.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What I've got for you today, it's a new feature,
Yep.
which I'm calling Steve's a fucking nerd. And I don't know about the theme song. The theme tune will be like maybe something like, Steve is a fucking nerd. He is a fucking nerd.
I like it.
And then it's like some sort of eccentric game show host comes on stage, and then you follow, like in chat shows where they introduce you and you come out waving and you run around the stage.
Yeah.
That's what will happen.
Okay.
And then the game show host, when you're running past him, will trip you up.
Shall we
be
make
like,
an
you're a fucking nerd, Steve.
Maybe
And
we
then
should make an actual intro to like a video intro.
Steve's a fucking nerd. Okay. With a live studio audience, which will be one of my cats.
Yeah.
Like the old man who lives next door and dresses like he owns a boat.
He'll come and watch it.
He watches me all the time. He looks through my window. He can probably hear me.
Probably.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry, old man.
Tell me
sorry to you.
Tell me what Steve's a fucking nerd is all about.
I've just got 5 questions for you.
Okay. And you want to see if I know
they're
them.
to test your geekness. Because
Okay.
after all, we claim that this is a sort of a geek-based podcast. And they are various different pop culture questions from various different pop culture franchises.
Sure.
You'll probably know most of them. Some of them, if you
Who
don't,
knows?
I do. So we can... Worst case scenario, you don't know them, and I end up educating you, which is going to be
That
very
sounds
rare.
good to me, yeah. Go
Are
for
you
it.
ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Question 1.
Stick 10 seconds on the clock, please. There is no other guy. No one can do that for us. We don't have a production team. Okay, question 1.
Yeah.
What form did the first portkey take that Harry Potter saw? I've got here written down. What was the first portkey that Harry Potter was introduced to? So what shape did it take?
Oh, fucking hell. That would have been on the hill just above where the Weasleys lived, just before they went to the World Cup, Quidditch World Cup in book 4. Oh, shit.
With Cedric and his weird dad.
I've got a feeling it's something between a tin can or a leather boot, but I could be wrong.
Now, I stupidly forgot to actually check this, but what I think it is,
Yep.
what I think is the right answer, I'm fairly sure it's the right answer, is a leather boot.
Oh, well, if
So
it is,
there
then
you
I'm
go.
right, yeah. I'm fairly certain it's in book 4 anyway.
Yeah, and it is. It's in...
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire.
Before
And
the Quidditch World Cup.
yeah.
What portkey takes Harry to Voldemort's parents' graveyard in the 4th book?
Oh.
What's been enchanted to be a portkey?
Oh, the Goblet of Fire. I mean, the trophy.
Yeah.
Is the
It's-
goblet the trophy?
I don't think the goblet is. I think it's just the like Champions Trophy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, an old boot, a discarded boot.
Well, that's 1. I've
There
got
we go.
1. Hit me with
1
question
out of
2.
5. Yeah, nice one. Question 2. I need to stop this computer from going on rest screen. What's it called? Sleep mode.
Sleep mode, yeah.
Rest screen. Question 2. In Warcraft lore, what class is Thrall, the orc?
This is going to be a guess because I don't
And this
play
doesn't
Warcraft.
just apply to the World of Warcraft. It's like the Warcraft, like the whole story of Warcraft. Thrall, who's leader of the Horde for a long time.
Is he a warrior?
No.
What is he?
Do you want one more guess?
I've got a feeling it's going to be Paladin, maybe.
No.
What is it? I don't know Warcraft at all.
No, that's fair. He is actually a shaman.
Oh, okay.
And he's very like...
Oh, I remember the images.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a bit magic, and he sticks with that through World of Warcraft, and when spoilers, I guess, a bit for World of Warcraft, but when he is eventually sort of leaves the Horde and goes to fight for the good of the world in general, he is still a shaman, and he's very much gets back into focus with his powers.
Oh, cool. I've never played any Warcraft games. I'll have to give them a try.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, never done Warcraft.
Do you know, I'd be more than happy to buy them so we could play online, like have LAN games.
Sounds good.
Okay. In Community, in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, what is the name of Annie's D&D character?
I haven't got a fucking clue. I've watched that episode once. Honestly can't remember.
Now, and it's actually the same character that she picks when they play D&D again in season 6, I think it is.
Yeah, no, 5, isn't it? Because 6 hasn't been on yet.
Sorry, 5, yeah.
Actually,
I have seen season 6.
Well, you can see the first 2 episodes.
No. What now?
I think they're online now.
I thought they came out on your birthday.
Maybe over here. In America, they're out. Wait, unless it was preview episodes that they were reviewing.
Yeah, it must have been. Because they come out on your birthday, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. What is she?
Hector the Well-Endowed.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just got a big dick, and she has sex with Arbed. Not in real life, but in D&D form.
The D&D episodes are my favourite.
But it's Hector the Well-Endowed, and she wasn't actually meant to get that character in the second time, I think, because they shuffled the papers round.
Yeah.
But it's because Arbed is really bad at coming up with names. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of
my D&D character has a reputation for killing children.
What, really?
Yeah.
What is your character?
He's a 300-year-old diva paladin called Ajax.
Diva?
Yeah, that's a class. They're like godlike
not like
things.
girl. I am a paladin.
He's like, my name is Ajax, y'all. No,
my daddy gonna get you.
No, we were raiding a dungeon with goblins in it,
yeah.
And we were listening at a room, and it sounded like crying, like kids. And I was like, let's boot down the door and kill all the children.
Did you do? And then
it wasn't children in there. But now every time we play D&D, everyone's like, oh, look, it's the child killer.
The child killer. Oh, wow. Steve the child killer.
Yeah.
You should put that on your CV.
It's on my CV.
Okay, yeah. So Hector the Well-Endowed. Question number 4.
Go on.
Who voiced the Gungan chief, Boss Nass, in Phantom Menace? You know it. You definitely know it. And he was like...
Yeah, I know who you mean. I should know it.
That really hurt my head.
Do you know what? I don't feel too bad about not knowing it, because The Phantom Menace is a fucking mess of a film. So.
Are you kidding? It was the best one. I'm joking.
Go on, I'm losing here. What was it?
You'll kick yourself.
Yeah.
Brian Blessed.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I do know that.
Have you seen that video on YouTube where he's like just going around pestering people in hospitals?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm getting nearer to Vera. And she like creeps up and I think she has a heart attack.
Yeah. Wow, these are pretty good questions.
I'm surprised. But then again, I kind of knew you didn't know that much about Warcraft.
No, and
the community one you've only seen once. But this is good. It's like me.
You're teaching me stuff. Yeah. I like that.
It's good because I genuinely think I don't know anything that you don't know.
Let's keep the question. Let's do this next time.
Okay.
Prepare me 5 questions every episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right, ready?
Or we can take it in turns. Like next time I'll do 5 for you.
Well, I won't. Yeah, okay, we can try that. I won't know many of them, but
it can just be educating Alex.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Your 5th and final question. There's everything to lose and everything to play for. We all know that in Lord of the Rings, Aragorn represents the race of men. But what specifically is his race?
Dunedain.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm really interested in that because, my very good friend's wife actually is really into Lord of the Rings. She is a musician, studied music at uni. She did her dissertation on the music in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, she must have read each book at least 10 times. She's just mad into it, and I think she's got a replica of the One Ring and various other bits and bobs.
I've seen the music live.
That would be awesome.
At the London Philharmonic Orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall. Giant, great big screen. They played the film, and they had the music playing live. So
I went
the
to that to see Singing in the Rain with a live orchestra, which was not the same. But
I wish I'd done it. They did it last year. They did Back to the Future. I bet that was fun. Yeah, I mean the Lord of the Rings one was moving. Like I appreciated Helm's Deep in a whole new way. Hearing the music live, and the ending was just intense.
Was it the Lord of the Rings the last film that they used miniatures in, like models? You know, like the model that was Helm's Deep and stuff.
Yeah, they used models for Helm's Deep Minas Tirith and Helm's Deep and all that were all models, like scale models and stuff.
Right. So, yeah, the Dunedain, or Dunedain, I guess, however you want to say.
Yeah, I think it's...
It's spelled Dunedain, and it's got a little accent on the U.
Yes, it has, yeah.
But I looked it up, because I kind of knew a bit about it, and they live a bit older, don't they? Like, Aragorn's actually 83 or something?
Yeah, the film's a bit messy with the timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do live a lot
Well,
longer.
I thought Aragorn was supposedly, well, not half elven, but because he was raised with the
Yeah, he's raised with
high
them, but
elves.
he's not elven.
No, but I figured that maybe that's why that he took on some elven traits, like being slightly light-footed and living a bit
I'd
longer.
imagine living with them would teach you some stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But I looked up the Dunedain, and this is the little description that came up from the Lord of the Rings wiki. The Dunedain, singular Dunedain, were the men descended from the Númenóreans who survived the fall of their island kingdom Númenor and came to Eriador in Middle-earth, led at first by Elendil and his sons. They are also called the Men of the West and Men of Westernesse. That's quite cool.
Yeah, the
So-
Dunedain are interesting.
I guess that must have been thousands and thousands of years before Isildur.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Wait, is Isildur Aragorn's dad or grandfather?
Like great. Yeah, he's descended from
What was his
him.
dad called? Fred.
Isildur. Fred, yeah.
Isildur, that's it, yeah. Imagine if it was like, I'm Terry, I'm Aragorn's dad.
Yeah.
This
No,
is my mate Steve.
Arathorn is his dad's name.
Arathorn.
Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
And who is Isildur? Oh, Isildur is...
Isildur was the person who originally took the ring. He cut Sauron's... In the film, he cut his finger off and got the ring.
Yeah.
And then succumbed to its power. So rather than destroying it when he had the chance, he took it.
Yeah. Man, I want to watch Lord of the Rings.
I fucking love Lord
But
of
do
the
you
Rings.
know what? I do get a bit bored of some of it. I think it's because whenever I put it on, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch the director's cut, and it's.
I
just
can't
so
not
long.
watch the director's cut now.
Me too, and that's why I always watch it. But you have to dedicate so much time to it.
What's your favourite? Which one of the three?
Probably Two Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Because
choice.
I think in Return of the King it's all awesome and they have to wrap it all up. But there are certain bits that maybe are a little bit underplayed, like when Aragorn has to go and ask the spirits to pay the debt. I can't remember what they're called now. And he's like, the debt you owe to us is repaid, so you can like fuck off and sleep for a bit.
Yeah.
I think I'm paraphrasing.
They're a bit. The battles in it are a bit convoluted, and Fellowship's my favourite.
Well, that's what I found a bit dumb about. Like, I really loved the dwarves in Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies, but I felt like it was just a bit like, and here's the next army, and here's the next army.
It was just an hour and a half of fighting and 20 minutes of storyline and boring, basically.
The best part was Billy Connolly.
Yeah, he was. But the problem with The Hobbit is that the tone's all over the place. They still want it to be a kids' film, but they also want it to be dark like Lord of the Rings, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, no, you're
the
right.
The tone's all over the place. I mean, personally, I think Fellowship of the Ring's the best of the lot.
It was pretty epic. You really got the sense of they were setting off an adventure,
Just
and
the
I think
sense of adventure that's in it, and it's really nice.
And I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but didn't Peter Jackson send all the cast of the Fellowship, so the 9 cast members, off on like a week-long team building exercises and adventures and stuff?
So. They've all got a tattoo of the One Ring, haven't they?
Yes, yeah, I think so. That's so cool.
I know.
That's wicked. Anyway, yeah, well done. You got
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. That's a bit disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset.
I'm really upset. I'm going to spank your bum when we finish.
Sweet.
But that's fun. I'm going to do that every time.
Yeah, I like it. No, it's cool.
I think we've got Star Wars in there, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Warcraft, Community, like all different elements of things we like. I might try and include some. I mean, there's no movie stuff in there.
Movies, comic books, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then again, I don't know that much about comics.
You can, but that's
the thing.
You'll
I
be
can do
teaching
research.
yourself whilst you're.
All right, you patronising fuck. You'll be teaching yourself, Alex. You sound like my mum when she.
Why don't you crack a book, you dopey fuck?
Like my mum teaching me how to wipe my own ass. You'll learn, Alex.
We're running low on time. Do you want a quick bit of education?
Well, do you know what? I think a bit of a longer episode is fine because we haven't spoken in a long time.
It's fun. What else have you got before I do some education?
All I've got is hemorrhoids and a bit on Far Cry 4.
Go on, tell me about Far Cry 4.
I'll leave the hemorrhoids because that was just...
You tell me about Far Cry 4 and then I'll tell you about a comic I'm reading and then I'll educate you a little bit. You probably know all of it, but I thought it was a fitting choice this time.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Got 'em.
Far Cry 4, I've played a bit of it. I've maybe played 5-6% of it. So not very much at all.
They're huge games,
They're
though.
huge games, yeah. And I'm not in love with it, to be honest. I think it's visually stunning and it's very playable. But it started off, I think I remember in Far Cry 3, it was very much like the intro was awesome. Did you remember the intro to Far Cry 3?
Yeah, I've completed Far Cry 3.
With the mates on holiday.
Yeah.
And it was like, right, you start off not knowing how to do anything. You learn a bit more, you learn a bit more, you learn a bit more. With this, I think they wanted to skip a lot of that because they were targeting the people who'd already played a lot of Far Cry.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, you're here now and you know what to do.
Yeah,
so just to enhance that. And I felt a bit cheated by that. Maybe that's my own fault and maybe I need to go back and play Far Cry 3. But for me, I the way I see it, I spent 40 quid on a game. I want to have the full experience.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I don't feel like I should need to play Far Cry 3. Having said that, it's really good. Like the mechanics of the shooting and climbing and running and all the stuff you need to do.
Yeah.
It's a very land-based game, so it's not like... I mean, it's not like here's the path that you go down. It's not like you know when a lot of platform games try to disguise themselves as open world games. This is very much open world.
Sandbox, isn't it? You can do what you want.
Yeah, sorry, sandbox. Yeah,
you can. You can do what you want
to an
basically.
extent. Yeah. So that part of it I really like. A huge map as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And I'm really just getting into the storyline. I just wish there was a bit more of an introduction. So I feel like I haven't connected with the character because I don't care about him because I don't know anything about him.
No, that makes sense.
But as far as it goes as a computer game, I sound like an old man.
It's fine.
PS4 video game.
That makes you sound younger. One of those PlayStation 4 video games.
Makes me sound like a really old Jewish guy.
I'm going to get it on the PC, I think.
PC4 computer games.
I'll buy it on the PC, I think.
Oh, yeah, on your brand new sparkly PC, which will arrive momentarily.
Probably tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe the estimated delivery date is Saturday, though, so we'll see.
It's like a birthday present from you to you.
Kind of, yeah. It would be lovely if I didn't have to pay for it like most birthday presents.
You can not pay for things, but then you get put in prison.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to. I will pay for it, obviously.
That was Far Cry 4.
I will give it a try. I'll wait for it to go on sale on Steam and pick it up probably.
Sweet. Educate me. Oh no, comic me.
Let me tell you about this comic book I'm reading at the moment called Dead Man Wonderland, which I think I might have mentioned in the past, but I hadn't yet read.
Is it manga?
It's manga.
Because I'll tell you what, we got a comment on, I think, one of our YouTube videos from someone who said, can you give me some advice on what manga to read? I haven't ever read any before. Where's a good place to start? Did you see that one?
No, comment? I didn't. But I tell you what, if you are listening now, and I'll spend a couple of minutes on it because I love questions like that. I didn't see it, I missed it. But if you're wanting to start out in the world of manga, a good place to start is probably Akira. A little bit more expensive because there's 6 of them and they're big. But Akira really got me into manga, and it's visually stunning. It took Katsuhiro Otomo years to make it, and it's just a visually stunning piece of work. I don't use the word often, but it is a masterpiece. It's beautiful. Other suggestions, modern stuff, Attack on Titan. You can't go wrong with Attack on Titan. That's good fun. I would suggest Monster, which they've just started doing in Ultimate Editions, which I talked about on a previous episode.
I saw that in the bookstore the other day.
It's Monster's just a really psychological and fun piece of work. It's a bit slow, clips along at quite a slow pace, but it's character building and it spends a lot of time with its side characters. What other stuff? I mean, in terms of...
I'm trying to find the bloke who asked us about it. Maybe it's here.
Dragon Ball Z, good place to start.
Oh, here we go. His YouTube name is Kyle Mann.
Okay, Kyle Mann.
Hey, Kyle Mann. He said, would you guys talk about cool manga? Would you guys Would you guys talk about cool manga? Been trying to get involved. Don't know where to start. P.S. Great episode. Oh, thanks, baby.
I tell you what, I've given you a couple of suggestions to start with, but not knowing that question was there. Next episode, I'll get a list and I'll review some of my favourites for you because
that's good.
That's a good place to start.
Your top 5. Do your top 5.
I'll do my top 5. Good place to start on a budget, and one that you can get at the moment is definitely Attack on Titan. It's currently being published. Monster, just being re-released. You'll easily be able to pick that up at Waterstones or somewhere like that. Well, let me tell you about.
I think he might be an American chappie, so the equivalent
Barnes
of
and Noble.
Barnes and Noble,
Barnes and Noble. Dead Man Wonderland, also a good one to pick up because that's just being published.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, take a look. Basically, this guy gets framed for murdering his classmates, and he goes to prison, and it's in Tokyo. A tsunami wiped out most of Tokyo, and now they're rebuilding the city, funded by this theme park called Dead Man Wonderland. People, like general public, can go visit it.
Yeah,
and it's completely run by the prisoners. They like do all the attractions and stuff, and they put on the shows. What the audience don't realise is like the prisoners are dying and stuff like that. Like when they see them dying,
it's like slave labour.
Yeah, basically, and they do things like they have to run gauntlets and stuff. And when they're getting killed, the audience think it's an illusion.
But it's real. It's like sort of snuff style.
Yeah, and they're all wearing collars that inject a poison into them. And every 3 days they have to take this antidote, otherwise they'll die. They have to earn the right to that antidote. They have to do tasks to earn the right to it, and it's.
Why isn't this a movie?
It's a TV show. You can get it on American Netflix, not on British one yet.
As in an animated, obviously.
Yeah, it's an anime, but it's it's really good, really fun, quite dark, but it's basically about this 14-year-old boy trying to find out why he was framed for the murders, and obviously trying to keep himself alive at the same time. But yeah, you can get that on Netflix.
So he was framed for the murders, put in prison, and then a tsunami wiped out Tokyo?
No, this already happened. The tsunami had
okay.
wiped out Tokyo, so they're rebuilding.
Oh, I see.
The
Okay.
Dead Man Wonderland is the first ever private prison.
So is it an ongoing story, and you don't know why he's...
No, I've only read the first couple.
Oh, wicked.
So
okay.
I'll be picking up. I think it's ongoing. I don't think there's that many out.
Yeah.
But if this guy is from America, you can watch it on Netflix, the anime, and also Attack on Titan. So
yeah.
I would recommend. Really a good place to start. If you want to read it, I'm going to make a list of my favourites, my top 5, and some suggestions. But also watch some anime, man. Go to Netflix. The American Netflix has got so much anime. Just go on there, pick one that sounds cool, and I'm willing to bet that it probably is cool. Because I quite like a lot of anime, and I just randomly scroll through and watch it.
There's one called I think The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Yeah, it's good fun, that
That's
movie.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like it. It's pretty confusing.
That's good fun. Obviously, most people's awareness of anime will probably be, at the moment, Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Akira, Ghost in the Shell, pretty big, but Studio Ghibli probably the biggest.
Do you say Ghibli? I say Ghibli.
Whatever.
You probably know better.
No, I don't know. That's just how I say it.
I say Studio Goebbels.
Took you a while to think of that. I saw the cocks in your head moving when you were trying to think.
You saw the cocks in my head.
Yeah.
Oh man!
You were like thinking of joke. Quick, download. 100% go balls.
Beep, 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 beep. Educate me, motherfucker.
Sam Simon died, co-creator of The Simpsons.
Yes, he did.
Shall we acknowledge him and Terry Pratchett?
Oh fucking yeah! Let's do that because that's sad.
Terry Pratchett.
I want to go on record as saying that when people die, it's sad.
Yeah, 100%. Never a big fan of Terry Pratchett's style. I love the fantasy and comedy elements, but his writing style never clicked with me. I couldn't get on with it. I read a couple of his books. I think Mort was one of them.
Yes.
And I can appreciate the brilliance of his mind to be able to create such fantastical stories and obviously entertain millions of people. The fact that I never got on with it is irrelevant because the man was an entertainer and he entertained people, and it sucks that he had to die. It completely sucks that he had to die.
It does, and I've got a few it's funnily enough, this morning I was reading some quotes that Terry Pratchett said.
Go on.
I'll just read a few of them out. I know I keep interrupting you.
No, go on.
But I just thought they're really good. Like, it shows that he was a good writer, even if you didn't appreciate him. Like you're saying, his work was good. So this one is, it's often said that before you die, your life passes before your eyes. It is in fact true. It's called living.
Yep. I like that. Funny. That's a good quote.
The trouble with having an open mind, of course, is that people will insist on coming along and trying to put things in it.
Yeah. I've heard that one before. That's a good one.
And this is maybe my favourite one.
Go on.
You've probably heard this. Build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. He was can't come up with that by accident. He worked hard at being a clever, funny.
He was
writer.
a clever, funny guy. the style never got on with me, but I know loads of people that swear by his work, and anyone who's able to create such wonderful stories and basically I think he made people smile, and that's what I want to do in life, make people smile and make people happy, and anyone that does that, whether I like them or not, is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Except Katie Price. If she
try
she
and make
die.
one person laugh every day, that's what I try and do, and it doesn't. I mean, most people laugh because they think I'm just trying to be funny, and I'm not, but at least then they're smiling and laughing.
Yeah. I did say except Katie Price, and then I think I said she should die, and that's not very nice, but
she lives around here.
Her persona should die.
Sometimes I see her...
Jordan should die.
Yeah, she's probably a nice lady in real life.
No, don't think so.
She's got a big pink car.
She had dinner at my friend's restaurant, and all the local patrons outside egged her on her way out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor Katie.
Apparently she was quite abrupt and rude in the restaurant.
I can imagine.
But yeah, I don't want anyone to die, by the way. I said that to try and be funny, but
if she if she dies before we do the next podcast, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah.
And play them this as evidence.
I'll tell you what, I won't even fucking feel bad.
You were just like, I don't want anyone to die, and then you're saying I won't even fucking feel bad.
Yeah, I'm up.
You've actually got a cigarette in the side of your mouth.
I'm chugging on a massive cigar and chuckling to myself.
And you've grown a weird Dali moustache.
Fuck Katie Price.
I'll put a price on Katie.
Leading on from Terry Pratchett.
Oh yeah.
Sam Simon, co-creator of The Simpsons. Obviously, Matt Groening is often the big name in The Simpsons, but
another pronunciation thing.
What?
I say Groening.
Groening?
Yeah.
There's no A in it.
Matt Groening.
Groening.
Matt Groening.
Yeah.
Matt Groening. It sounds like Matt's been groining. Hey, Matt's been groining with this dame.
Well, probably Matt Groening, I would guess, would be the logical one, but I don't know. But yeah.
To each their own.
Groening. Yeah, I guess it would be. But I say Groening. But
you can say whatever you like.
It was developed by him, Sam Simon, and James L. Brooks, The Simpsons. So, although he's credited as the creator, to me, the fact that they're credited as being developers, that's the same thing as creating it. They helped.
Yeah, it's a thing that it's not like that. Right, we've created this. Now go forth.
Yeah,
it's like its development is its creation. Like the way the characters progress, they're just constantly being created in new situations and scenarios.
It sucks that he had to die because he was young. I think he was like 55, wasn't he?
Why couldn't it have been Katie Price?
Yeah,
that's sad. So hit me up with some...
a little bit about The Simpsons and Sam Simon. You probably know some of this, but let's go. So Sam Simon, co-creator of The Simpsons, he assembled the first ever writing team and co-wrote 8 of the first episodes.
Wow.
He is...
In 1989, was it? Or
88, I believe.
88.
Let me double check that one.
It's a long old time ago.
Yeah, it's been going on forever.
What is it now?
89.
It's nearly 30 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
89 it was first broadcast, but at that point it had already run for a couple of seasons on the Tracy Ullman Show as a short.
Oh, is that where there was that little pilot of Bart Simpson in the bath?
I believe so, but it started out as a series of shorts, really crudely animated on the Tracy Ullman Show.
Oh, cool, I didn't know that.
So it first started as a 22-minute series in 89, but it had already been going for a couple of years when that happened.
Oh, right, okay.
He is credited as developing the show's sensibility, its direction, and
oh wow, that's interesting.
He left in 1993, so he actually wasn't on the show for very long.
Why?
Just growing strain with Matt Groening.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't get on, I think. When he passed away, he left his... when he left, he was paid off, essentially.
Yeah.
He continued to receive royalties.
Oh, wow.
When he died, he left the entirety of his $100 million estate to charity.
What a legend.
I know, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Sam Simon, mad props to you, man.
I'll tell you a few things about The Simpsons.
Go on.
It has been running for 26 seasons. Fuck. It has aired to date 569 episodes.
Wow.
Which totals roughly, if each episode is 22 minutes, at 12,518 minutes, which translates to 8.5 straight days of viewing without a break.
That is a long time. Day and night?
Yeah. 24 hours. It's 8.5 straight days of watching. Yeah.
See, I wonder. I mean, the 12,000 things is a lot, obviously, but when you say 8.5 days straight, you think actually That doesn't seem that long.
It is a lot.
Yeah?
Because you'd be watching from midnight to midnight.
But you can only get 3 episodes into an hour.
Yeah.
So 3 times 24.
Well, if you break it down by 22 minutes, right? You take 22 minutes, times it by 569, which gives you 12,518 minutes. You divide that by 24, which is the amount of... you divide that by... 24, which gives you the amount of hours it is, which is 202, I think.
521.
It can't be 521 hours because there's 569 episodes.
I can't believe we're doing maths on a podcast.
It is 569 times by 22.
I guess you're right. That's over a week, non-stop. Simpsons always on.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, I guess, but can you imagine watching it day and night? Let's say you decided to do it at 3 episodes a day.
Yeah.
I
just had a really good idea.
202 hours. It'd take you 202 days.
Well, I just had a really good idea for a charity stream.
Yeah, did you? What, us watching all of The Simpsons?
Well, we could do it get a group of people on duty. So every, you do it in 6-hour shifts. Someone has to watch The Simpsons.
We'd have to book 2 weeks off work.
Yeah.
And we'd have to get all of them on DVD.
And we'd have to convince people to say, come on, man, just come and watch The Simpsons forever.
Should we email Fox and see if they can send it to us, and we'll do it as a charity event? If they sent us all the DVDs, I would do it as a charity event. I'd take the time off work and do it.
Yeah, me too.
Let me tell you some other things. It's the longest running American sitcom. It's also the longest running animated American show.
Yep.
It is award winning, obviously, but it's also holds the record for the most guest stars featured in any TV series.
No way.
A couple of little tidbits, because I was just browsing around The Simpsons.
Yep.
Krusty was originally meant to be Homer's secret identity.
No way.
Yeah.
I guess they got the same shaped head.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit.
They could be I'm surprised they didn't go down the route of Krusty being Homer's brother or whatever.
Yeah. The couch gag, this is something I didn't know, and I've tried to verify it as best as possible, but the couch gag is used to make the show longer or shorter. So if they need to fill time, they will make a longer couch gag to fill up time, and they'll do a shorter one if they've got more time to fill with episode.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like a little, the equivalent in Community, I guess, at the little bits at the end with Troy and Abed.
Yeah, maybe they put them in there for time filling.
Time in there.
In the script, Doe is down as annoyed grunt.
Really?
It was done as Doe.
Always, or
Yeah, it was originally. I don't know if it still is, but now Doe, D, OH,
dope.
is in the dictionary as a word.
Wow.
It also in this a little in Arabic, Homer is known as Omar Shamshum.
Omar Shamshum.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And lastly,
Omar Shamshum.
Yeah,
I love it.
Fox owned the rights until 2082. It's their show. It's just been renewed for season 27 as well. Matt Groening has said himself that he thinks that The Simpsons will outlive him. It will be an institution long after he's gone.
But do you know that it fluctuates in terms of quality, or in terms of I guess enjoyment? And there are episodes and seasons where you think, okay, that's quite funny, and some where you think, it's not really.
I haven't watched any new stuff for a while.
I don't think there's ever been a bad episode. There's for me, there are episodes which I think, didn't do it for me. But I feel because of its reputation and because of, I guess, the stress they put on. I mean, it isn't just they churn out episodes. Sometimes I guess it might feel like that because there's so many episodes. But they have that reputation to uphold. So they can't just go, we'll put this out. Because if they can constantly do that, the quality will dip. And that's why it kind of fluctuates. Because if they ever kind of dip in quality, they go, right, we notice that this is happening. So we have to bring it back up. So it's all do you see what I mean?
I agree to a certain extent, but you can't react like that in animated shows because they have to make them 6 months in advance. So every series is made so far in advance of it airing that because it takes so long it takes 6 months to make one episode.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They make
no way.
Yeah, they're constantly developing them at the same time.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So all 22 episodes that we see,
are all made.
have pretty much been made at the same time over the last year.
Yeah.
The only cartoon that doesn't do that is South Park, because of the
they knock them up quite quickly.
They can make them in, I think their record was something like 4 days.
That's crazy.
Which is why when you watch South Park as it airs, it's very topical.
Yeah.
They can't really do that with things like The Simpsons and Family Guy, because you're seeing
yeah.
it. So I feel like in terms of quality, there are some that are lesser.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, absolutely. But what I mean is, when they get that lesser quality, the next season will usually be better, because they right, that season wasn't that much of a hit, we've got to do better.
Well,
and then the next one after that will
it's about appealing to different tastes as well. So there are some episodes that I don't find funny that other people think are hysterical. So
I wonder if, I guess when we were kids, we were maybe watching seasons 10 to 15 or seasons...
Well, BBC used to repeat the early stuff all the time, so...
Because I remember, the episode, for example, where Bart sells his soul. That's quite an early one. And I wonder if you played those sort of episodes to kids now, at the age we were then, if they'd actually find them funny. I'm sure they would. It is to an extent
Simpsons
a bit timeless.
is now an institution. It's not. It's gone beyond being a TV show, I think. The Simpsons is almost like Disney, in that it's an institution in its own right. There are TV shows that are iconic, like Friends, but The Simpsons transcends even being iconic. It's almost like it's its own thing now. It exists
definitely
outside of that.
Yeah, you're right. I think you could go to pretty much anyone in the world, even in the deep, dark depths of the Amazon jungle.
Yeah, even the tribes that don't have telly know what The Simpsons is.
They'll be like, yeah, we heard of The Simpsons.
Yeah, people love it. But yeah, I mean...
There's some cool facts, though.
I'll get in... I'm actually genuinely going to find out who we can contact at Fox and say to them, we want to do a charity event.
Would you, listeners, like to... Would you watch a stream of us doing charity events like that?
Well, it's almost like we could do commentaries. We could talk about the episodes.
I'd be more than happy to do that. That would be awesome, to give each episode enough dedication to do a bit of a commentary on it.
Let's do it. Well, let's find out if we can, because buying all of the DVDs will be very expensive.
We'll put Fox into the Twitter.
Unless we do
we'll tag them on Twitter.
If they won't do it, and maybe we just do season 1 and book 2 days off work and do the whole of season 1, and then do the others as we can.
And you know what, Fox? If you're listening and you don't let us do this, I'm never watching The Simpsons again.
I don't believe you. Fox are like, fuck you.
They're like, who are you? Farnham.
Hundreds of millions of viewers. And we don't care about you, you peon.
Well, they should. It's all about caring for your customers.
We've got the power to put them out of business, I reckon.
Just us two.
Yeah,
it's us two against The Simpsons, mate. We should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I reckon that was sort of a feature-length episode bring it back.
Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, you could have watched a really good film this time, but instead you listened to two overweight British guys talking shit.
And I think that says more about you than it does about us.
Yeah, you cunts.
And on that note, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've given you all the information. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our website, beardwags.com. Email us, beardwags@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page. SoundCloud has gone a bit dead, to be honest. We don't really use it as much.
But we also iTunes. Search for BeardWags, because we're on iTunes.
It'd be cool to get some reviews and feedback on iTunes, because I don't know if anyone's really downloaded us.
No, I don't know how we find out what
there must be a way somehow.
But yeah, iTunes, and also email us with some questions that we can answer. I expect at least a couple by the time we record next. And
dick pics.
What you're reading,
no
what you're
pics,
listening
please.
To, what you're watching, and questions for us to answer. And we will see you soon.
We will. Peace out. We love you.
Bye, you bastards.
Oh.